up, everybody? Yes, it's that time of the week again, bitch. Yes, it's another episode of Old School New School Comedy Podcast, and we're coming to you virtually from New York City because my guest this week doesn't live here, unfortunately, and I love this bitch. I met her during lockdown, of all places, right? We were in the slammer. We were in the COVID slammer together. But, you know, back in the day in lockdown, we were doing all these Zoom shows and stuff. So in this ladies comedy group, my good friend Carol Montgomery, who you guys saw a couple weeks ago on the show, introduced me to this woman. And she, during lockdown, had, and before lockdown, I should say, had a comedy club up in near Lowell, Massachusetts called OMG Comedy Club. And then she took it virtually, and I headlined one of her shows, and that's how we met. And I feel like I've known this woman my entire life. She's hysterical. She is, not only did she have OMG Comedy, she also did a No Nuts comedy tour. That's right, people. No nuts. That means that's vagina, sweetie. And she did that. And she also currently has her funny raising comedy shows where she raises money for orphanages and kids and, you know, anything that's to do with anything helpful or philanthropic. This bitch is on it. I love her. She's fucking hilarious. I want you to give it up for Jess Miller.
Hey!
Hey!
That
What
was
up,
a very
diva?
nice intro. Thank you.
I really give good intro. I really do.
You give good intro.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, I give it to you good.
Oh.
I usually do it so good people don't realize I'm bringing them up, and they'll just sit there. They think I'm bumping them for somebody else.
So funny.
They're like, "Oh, it's me." It's like a total Price is Right reaction. Oh, it's me.
It's
And they go,
me. I'm not. So funny.
stupid. I love you to death.
I love you
And-
too.
And
I'm
I'm
so
so
glad we
bummed.
get to meet again.
I know. That's our show, folks. Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, God.
I don't even remember the last time I saw you. I know we've talked a lot of times, but
I can't remember.
I feel like it
been a
was
long time.
2020
It probably was.
during the height of, or 2021.
Probably. I don't even know. It's such a blur. Between 2020 and 2023 is a blur to me. If that makes sense.
Same,
So,
yeah.
So yeah, normally we broadcast out of the comic strip live on the Upper East Side, but today we are broadcasting virtually from Lowell, Massachusetts, right?
Springfield.
Springfield.
Yes, please
Massachusetts.
get that
Oh,
right.
man. That's right. Wally Collins is from Springfield.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or I think he's from Pittsfield, isn't he?
No, Springfield.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Also someone I haven't met.
Oh, he's amazing. You'll love him. He
Yeah.
was on in October on the show. I love him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's the best. So, talk to me, woman.
What
What's
do we wanna
going
talk
on?
about?
What's going on in comedy in Springfield, Massachusetts?
Nothing.
Kind of like New York City.
Ever. Yeah, it's not like New York City at all.
No.
You get sporadic stuff here and there, you know.
That's awesome. But you're an instigator of a lot of comedy in the scene up there. Like, you really like put your, get your shit together and really bring up like an actual somewhat of a scene in a place where there's no comics. And you've actually created somewhat of a scene.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I think there are scenes here, like up in Northampton or
Mhm.
down in Hartford and
Right.
and other places. And there's other comics doing stuff. I just think I do it a little bit better.
Hello.
I'm a
Nobody
girl and I have
does it better.
No, I think everybody up here does a really great job of bringing in comedy. So
It's hard.
it's just not consistent, I think the only
Yeah.
thing that's consistent is the casino.
Yeah, it's hard when there's no comedy scene and there's no comics that live locally. New York City, LA, Chicago, Austin, Miami, they have a scene. They have a city. They have, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
somewhere in like the suburbs, it's not going to be a scene. So it's really hard. Like I know like a lot of the guys in Connecticut, like Hartford, Milford, and all that area out.
Yep.
It's just empty. There's like 6 of them and they all rotate, and it's just like, and they kick ass, they're doing it, but it's fucking hard, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I think my last show was November 25th that I produced. And then I take a break for Christmas.
Right.
And we were doing a toy drive, so there was no way I could have done shows in between there.
No.
And then our next fundraiser is next Friday, and then they'll start picking up again.
Right. So where's that next fundraiser? And
in Westfield, Massachusetts.
So if you're in that area, people,
definitely come out because it's a great show.
Yeah. So who's on the show?
I have to look.
It's a great show. I have no idea who
I have no idea who I put on the show. Oh no, I do. I know it's going to be a great show. Let's see, who did I put on?
Is it though?
I have Linda Belt, who's amazing. I don't know if you've met her or not.
I've never met her in person. No.
She's a Connecticut comic. Lauren Terzak, who's up in like the Albany area. Timothy Lovett, who's in the Northampton area. So it's a good lineup.
Nice.
And it's for a group called Western Mass Mom Prom, and they do fundraisers for the Cancer House of Hope. So and they're also combining it with a group that called Lorraine's that works with people with food insecurity. It's a soup kitchen, basically.
That's so sweet.
So it's like, I love doing this stuff, like it's really fun.
No, you're amazing at it. And you've been acknowledged recently for your fundraising, for all your philanthropy work that you've done out of the kindness of your heart for the last few years.
Yeah, I won a rental car.
It's not a rental car. Stop saying that. She won a brand new car. Da, 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 da. It's not. Stop saying that.
It's a nice car. It's great. It's amazing. It's a 2024 Hyundai Tucson.
Fuck
0 miles. They literally handed me the keys, and I was like, "This isn't real, right?"
Yeah.
Because I think I'm of the mindset that I'm not kind to get something back or to. Climb,
I know you are. That's why you
climb the ladder or to
Yeah. Well, we know that hasn't happened in a really long time in your world.
Not in my world, it hasn't.
No.
So yeah, like that was, and Steph did a really good job of making sure I didn't know about it. And I didn't, and I was very surprised. I didn't know about it until I turned around and I saw the car.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. I call it the rental.
Stop saying that, woman. It's not. Just take it.
It's a nice rental.
Thank you. I have a new car because you do things unconditionally out of the kindness of your heart, and that's how the universe pays you back. It lets you know, it hears you, it sees you, and it appreciates you.
I'm doing the right stuff.
Yeah. I didn't get a new car because I ain't doing shit. That's why. Speaking of people ain't doing shit, it's been a lively couple of weeks in the comedy world.
It has.
Katt Williams has broke the internet.
Yeah, he did.
He is my inside voice.
Is he?
Yeah. He is my total inside voice because everything he said is things I've seen over my years in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store, or things that I didn't see, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. That actually is true. And he ain't lying. And the beauty of it is they're all upset because Katt's in a position where he's super successful. And he knows now that people will listen to him when he says
47 million people.
Yeah. And if he was broke still and talking that, they wouldn't have paid attention. They would say, oh, you're just a hater. You're just a hater because you ain't shit. And now he is shit. He is the shit. And now he's just calling out everybody on their bullshit. He's doing where Paul Mooney left off all those years ago. Except Paul Mooney didn't have the social media because it didn't exist.
Right.
And so at that point, Hollywood was able to blacklist him more and keep him out because there was no social media to air out their dirty laundry. There was no camera phones to record them when they were not looking. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was Mooney against the system. And I used to yell at Paul Mooney all the time. Mooney, stop. Get the check, then cuss them out. You know? Get the check.
Ideally.
Yeah. But what did you think of the Katt Williams interview?
There were some things that really resonated with me. First of all, I really like him.
I love Katt. I love him.
I don't know how anybody can't not like him.
Oh, he's everything.
It seems like his integrity is quite intact.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't think is the case for a lot of people, you know, especially in this world, because you just want to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And sometimes getting to the next level is, you know, opening up an orifice.
Yeah, I should have. You know, I should have. I look back now and I never did. I'm like, I'll never do that. And they're like, you'll never work in this town again. Because I had an incident with a manager back in the late 90s. He goes, man, you are something else. I'm like, thank you. And he goes, you know, I just got off stage in the OR at the Comedy Store. And he goes, man, you really killed it. I said, thank you. I work really hard. He goes, man, he's like, you know, you could be the next Kristen Johnson from Third Rock from the Sun. And I'm like, oh my God,
Huge
this is
compliment.
my time, right? Huge compliment. Loved her. And I'm like, yeah, you see. And I'm like, he sees me. Oh my God, this is my time. Someone's noticing that I'm a character and not like some generic lead that anybody can do. And I'm like, yes, I love her. That's her. I want her career. Like, she's amazing. He goes, yeah. He goes, man, you have it all. And he looks at me and goes, so what are you willing to do for it? And I said, well, you just saw me destroy in the room, and I'm here 7 nights a week. I write all my own material. I bust my ass. And he starts laughing. He goes, no, God. He goes, what are you willing to do for it? And he goes, and I go, oh, suck dick? Oh, no, honey, I'm talented. It's only the unfunny bitches that have to suck your dick, because that's their closing joke. I said, I'd rather be homeless on a park bench than fuck my way to the top. And he goes, well, good luck to you. You'll never work in this town again. And he was right.
Wow.
He wasn't lying.
There's a problem with people having that much power.
Yeah. It's really
sad.
is.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But I like what Katt Williams does, is because I think one of the things that he said that I really liked was that he has comics working with him, and they're getting paid $300,000. I mean, he's making money, right?
Yep.
But they're not beholden to him. They're not subservient to him. He used the word subservient a couple of times. Like, they're still their own person.
Right.
So that was something that I picked up on. Is he on tour right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was something that I picked up on, is that just because you come and work with me doesn't mean that you owe me anything, basically.
Yeah.
As long as you're funny and you're a good person. Yeah. And he made me want to pray.
Right?
I'm not
he got you. He took you to church. He took you to comedy.
He took all of us to church. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Smart.
Oh,
Very
that guy
smart.
is so brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And funny and
I
humble.
felt bad for Shannon Sharpe at a couple of places.
Yeah, because he lost control, not in a bad way, but Shannon Sharpe likes to think of himself as this big journalist. And it's like, no, you're just a ex-football player who has a podcast that everybody loves. You're Unk, you know?
I've never heard of the podcast.
Well, I'm not surprised.
You told me about it. Now I know.
Yeah.
And it was so funny too, because he was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna get a comedian on after this." And Katt Williams was like,
yes,
"Oh yeah, they're gonna double back.
They're gonna tear his doors down to backtrack what Katt said and try to cover up. Look at all the covering up Tiffany's done so far. She's done like 3 different comebacks. You know, Ludacris has done comebacks. Steve Harvey's they've all come on and said their little thing. And
I missed the part about Tiffany Haddish.
Oh yeah, she went on her Instagram live. She did it at a show at the Improv, and then somewhere else she came on again and said something.
Wait,
it was
so
an interview.
he threw her under the bus too? Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, with Kevin Hart.
Oh,
She's
because
part of
he's
the
calling
Kevin
Kevin
Hart.
Hart a gatekeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, because he brought her in. He goes, I know 47 funnier black female comedians than her. And what has she done? She ain't done the work. She got a Netflix special. She's never done a tour. She can't prove she could do an hour. Yeah, and he has a point.
But she's great in the movies.
She's fantastic in the movies, and you know, everybody has their place. For me, Katt just told everybody and called them all out on their bullshit, because people like to let you think they're bigger than what they are. People really believe their own bullshit, and they revel in the smell of their own farts. So they like to act like they did this struggle and all this shit, and it's like, it's not just black comics, dude. There's white comics out there, like a certain female comic that would cry, that said she was homeless and sleeping in her car. I'm like, your daddy told what's his face, oh my god,
Oh no,
Barry Katz, hey, I'll invest in your production of this movie if you take my daughter on, Whitney Cummings. And yeah, so it's Chelsea Handler, you know, she was a hardcore bitch, but she slept her way to the top. You know, she knew exactly what to do. She hooked up with the head of E and was with him for quite a few years and broke his heart when she got what she wanted. She was out. Sarah Silverman, you know, she wasn't getting very far as a comic. I mean, she had a name, but nothing big. And her brother, Jonathan Silverman, was better as an actor.
I love her podcast.
Right. And so she fucked Jimmy Kimmel. Broke up his marriage. She was
Sarah
with him.
Silverman fucked Jimmy Kimmel.
That's how she became a household name.
Oh.
Got what she wanted, moved on. Fuck that bitch. Jimmy Kimmel's a good dude. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. And,
so who are the people that you like?
There's no shame. There's no shame in the game. I'm just saying, I'm just calling it out as a truth. Like, own how you got there. Because I didn't do that. Look where I am. You know, no one knows who the fuck I am. I've been in the game as long as all them. But I didn't do all the things they did. And that's my fault. And I always tell people, if I could go back, I would have fucked everybody.
Would you really though?
Yeah, I would. Fuck
would
this.
You?
If I had the ghost of Christy's future come to me at 25 and say, at 53, this is where you're at, I'd be like, what? Everybody unzip your pants. A through L on this side, M through Z on that side. I ain't got that kind of time. Fuck the bullshit.
See, I've offered to suck people's dicks and they won't. I'm just like, no thanks.
That's funny.
It is funny.
They're like, no.
I'm like, can I get some stage time? I'll suck your dick.
They're like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of teeth in that one. Nope. Sorry, sir. We're not.
My wife is usually standing right next to me too.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up in Christmas present. Like a Christmas present, right? With lights and everything. Tinsel. Isn't that what they do now?
Sure, that's exactly. They must be, because I ain't doing that shit. I need to learn what the kids are doing. Don't they like spit on it now, like hock a loogie on it? Like who? How is that hot? How is that hot? I love sucking dick, but how is that hot to hock a loogie on it and then suck it and watch it slobber down like dog drool? Like I'm looking at a basset hound.
I think you're only one of two people that I've ever heard say I love sucking dick.
Really?
You should have done it when you were 25 and still young.
I should have. I know. Now I'm old and decrepit.
I'll do it.
Yeah. No one wants their mom to suck their dick now.
I mean, there are some people.
Yeah, ew. I can't. How much money's attached to that ugly dick?
I like the virgin butthole line. This is like virgin butthole. That's just so brilliant. Oh my god. I can't even imagine. Like I can see it with women, right? Yeah. But it was like, wow, the guys are getting this too?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so bad.
Oh yeah.
So that's you know, the stuff about Steve Harvey is really disappointing.
Yeah.
The Kings of Comedy. I think that's kind of what I felt with that. And then I watched some other clips of like people showing kind of backing up Katt Williams, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like
He's not lying.
what a shitstorm. But I think it's also good to bring it to the light,
Listen, all this shit needs to come to the light. It has to come out in the open, because the only way you can change it is to acknowledge it. And if you acknowledge it, then there's accountability and responsibility to do something about it. But if we keep sweeping it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist and create these fake fucking backstories and bullshit, it's just going to keep going. It's like cancer. If you don't cut the tumor out, it's going to spread. Right now there's a cancer in comedy that's, because of social media especially, has spread so fast and vile, but at the same time, it's telling on itself. And I always tell, I was telling like my other friends out here that all of us old heads, that have been in 25, 30 years. Listen, remember the late 90s, the death of comedy. We thought it was over. People weren't going to clubs anymore. They were staying home more. The writer's strike hit in 2000. Like, it was all this crazy shit going on. It was hard to get people in the doors.
Right.
And so the comedy scene took a dive. And at the Comedy Store, we would go to the hotels and leave tickets. Like, at least we get the people in there. They do the 2-drink minimum. We get the stage time. Mitzi makes money. We keep the lights on. Right. It was, robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically, back then. So now we're kind of in that situation again, except now we're being pushed out, instead of like being no shows, by bringer shows and independently produced shows, and people that say, you want 8 minutes, you got to bring 8 people. Right. And then you have to pay the ticket price. And these kids are paying $150, $200 to do a 5 to an 8 minute set. Like, what is this? And the clubs don't want to put money in marketing, which they didn't want to do in the beginning of the 2000s anyway, because of the slump and nobody was making money. So they wanted to put celebrities in. Then when Twitter hit in 2008 and 9, and Ashton Kutcher got 1 million followers, that's when it kicked in, where you had to have Twitter followers. So then the comics got hip to buying bots.
The social media.
And it's just been that cycle up and down. Then in the mid 2010s and the mid 2015s, comedy started coming back up again and hitting the peak again, because people decided, just because you have followers doesn't mean people are coming to the shows. So then they started putting good comics on again, and comedy started redeeming itself. And it was like, there was like hope, and we were all working. We were all doing good. Didn't matter if you were a big famous name or not. It's like, are you funny? Are you going to crush? Then get on that fucking stage. And the shows were just rocking, and the clubs were booming. And then COVID hit, and then became the birth of the Zoom comic and the TikTok comics. And then once
the Zoom comics have kind of,
no, not here.
No,
I
really?
see comics tooting their own horns. I'm a Zoom comic. I do shows on Zoom. I said I wouldn't say that very loud now in 2024, honey.
No,
it was adorable in 2020, but like, I had to do my show virtually last week because we had a storm in New York, and Matt Bridgestone, who has AC Jokes and all the casinos down there, in 3 casinos, and so he's killing it. He's great. Love Matt Bridgestone. And he's like, yeah, homie, I don't want to like drive up because the weather's bad, because I could get there and nobody's going to be really hanging out, because the weather sucks and it's bullshit. So I said, I could just stay home. I go, let's just do it virtually. And then I'll come down and do a show at one of your casinos, and then we'll do it live from the show, and then we'll make it a really cool thing. He's like, all right, that works. Nice. So we did it virtual. So we were doing Zoom, and it cut off because there's a time limit. I forgot, because I haven't paid for Zoom in 4 years.
Yes.
So we're peeing our pants because we had to pick up the show and do the thing. So like for this show, I actually went to StreamYard and paid the $19 a month so I could actually not run out of time. So like if I'm going to pay for it, I might as well do StreamYard, because it's all included. I don't have to worry about so much of the editing, just go through the sound and stuff.
And StreamYard is great.
Phenomenal. But it's just so like you forget, but there's people that are still I see it on Instagram. Hey, Zoom show, here's the link. And I'm like, really? I guess if you're incarcerated, that helps.
I mean, I suppose, in all fairness, it's just another way to get yourself out there, right? And I think the best thing about Zoom was, like, for me, meeting you.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Zoom shows in lockdown. I love them. They saved my life.
Yeah.
Zoom saved my life in lockdown, so I didn't blow my fucking brains out not doing stand-up. I mean, I couldn't lift weights, so like I got at least, yell at people on a picture on a computer, and 100%. It was saved my life. And I wrote my album on Zoom. So, Brutally Yours on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you stream your film. Shameless plug. I do it every show. It's my thing. And but like now it's like, it's a good backup, like having you, because like I have a lot of friends that don't live in New York City that can't come to the comic strip. So it's like, oh, I guess I should have this, just in case. So here we are.
I love it.
So another great thing, funny thing, which is it's kind of like this it's kind of like when Mother Teresa died and Princess Diana died in the same week. Everybody forgot about Mother Teresa and it was all about Princess Diana. Like Mother Teresa gets upstaged by Princess Diana because she died on the same week. Like you can't die on the same week as Princess Diana. Well, the same week that Katt Williams puts out his interview with Club Shay Shay, Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer was released on Netflix. I think they talked about it for one day. No one's talked about it since because here comes Katt Williams with the bomb.
Katt Williams now.
Oh, Katt Williams just drowned out all the hate Chappelle was going to get because he's Dave Chappelle. And it's like Dave could just sit back and enjoy that Katt Williams is blowing up everybody and all the heat's off of him finally. Did you watch The Dreamer by any chance?
I did. I thought it was really good.
Thank you. I thought it was hilarious because to me, people are like, oh, he's doing. I'm like, no, he's talking about all the clapback he's gotten since 2021 with Sticks and Stones and all the things that were happening to him and all the shit he got online. I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I like him in general.
Yeah. He's a great guy. There's another one who does things on the down low. He does all this charity shit nobody knows about because he's not about that. He just does it because he does it. He's not trying to showboat. I think it's an
integrity thing,
Yeah. Dave Chappelle is a good man. He's a really good man. And he has a heart of gold. And he doesn't do things for you to go, look what I did.
Yeah.
He does it because he's like, hey, this can help somebody.
It's kind of the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's kind of, a human thing to do.
Yeah, kindness is
it's sad that doing the right thing is the human thing and doing the wrong thing is the normal thing.
Capitalize on kindness right now and doing the right thing, which is it's not it's just it's gross because their intention behind it. You know why they're doing it. There's a difference of every move is calculated.
Yeah, every move is on video, like they're videotaping helping a homeless guy. Dude, fuck you. Just help him.
Yeah.
Do you know how many homeless people and shit I've done on these streets of New York? Because there's so many. There's a fucking migrant family living around the corner from me on the street under a scaffolding. The two cutest little kids and the cutest little couple. And they're just happy. The kids are skating around on the little things, that they get from, all the charity, all the, the foundations that give them toys for Christmas or give them clothes. And they're laughing and hanging out and they're quiet. They don't leave garbage. They don't cause problems. They're just rather be on the streets on 8th Avenue than in a war-torn country run by an authoritative piece of shit who was taking all their freedom and rights away because he's a scumbag, and
are we talking about what are we talking about? Which country?
Like Venezuela.
Oh, I thought you were talking about America. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, he's trying to come. That guy's trying to come back.
So scary.
I know.
Yeah.
And the idiots that love him. It's my family.
Yeah, mine too.
My family, I'm dead to them. They wrote me a letter and said, you are dead to us. Don't ever contact us again. Yeah.
When did this happen?
July. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's MAGA. It's that MAGA radicalization that the boogeyman's out to get them. So they sit there with their guns behind the door waiting for the boogeyman. I'm like, dude, if the boogeyman's going to get me, let him. I'm going to enjoy my life until he shows up.
It's so crazy.
It's just nuts what it's done to people.
Isn't this amazing? You know, we started with Dave Chappelle being a kind person, and we got to this.
Yeah, it always gets to that, you know.
It's
sad.
So
I hate it.
I was very surprised by his first joke. His setup was brilliant in terms of comedy. I'm sure you and I have very different perspectives on this. I have a very hard time punching down on people or groups, minority groups, probably because I am in one. I mean, you are too, but
so am I.
Yeah. I don't usually go for the trans jokes, but I also don't think I'm torn with it because I thought that was a really good joke.
But I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Tell me.
But you also got to remember, this is his personal experience.
Right.
With this community. So he's talking about his interaction with the community. And he does, and I don't call it punching down on somebody. To me, is when you deliberately try to hurt people and keep them down and destroy them. Comedy is not about that. Comedy
no, and
is
I don't
about,
think he did. I don't think he did that either.
I think punching down is a wrong word. It's a word that's real, and it's a real thing that happens to these communities. Absolutely. But it's comedy sheds light. And also, we're not lawmakers. We're not, we're not political figures.
Right.
We're shedding the light on what's happening in society today.
Right.
And whether it's your personal, Dave Chappelle's personal banter, we'll say, or fight between this community and him, but he's not talking about it being from an outsider talking about it. He's talking about his own personal experience. But it's so funny because to me, they say you're punching down. Well, don't you punch down on comedians and attack us and put us down? Everybody punches down on everybody. And my thing is, listen, bitch, I think you're one of us. Ho, you want to be part of the cool kids? You want to sit at the table with us? Well, bitch, I got a chair for you right here. Here's a plate. Let's eat. But guess what we do at my dinner table? We break balls. We love to bust each other's nuts because it's funny, because that shows love and trust.
Right.
When you can go in on somebody and they come back at you and you're laughing, that is a trust and a respect and a love that you cannot put a price on or pinpoint. And if you can't handle that, then you're not ready for the big kids table. You got to sit at the little kids table. The adults will sit at this table and eat, and we'll fix you a plate and put it on the little kids table since you're not ready. It's okay for you to come at, but if you want to be equal, this is what we do in the equal world. We like bust each other's nuts. We talk shit. We talk about topics. We talk about this and that. He ain't trying to hurt nobody. He's not saying, "Oh, hate them and beat them up."
I didn't get that at all.
Not.
I didn't
He
get
never
that at
did.
all.
He never has. He
No,
never has. He's not that guy. And
I think the concern with the trans community is that because they're already getting thrown under the bus so much,
sure,
that was really hard for them.
But let me tell you. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I was to say, but then again, being afraid of it and upset with it is making the devil that's really the problem worse. You're feeding the fire. Own it.
Yeah.
Laugh at look at drag queens. Watch RuPaul's Drag Race. They go in on each other. And they're laughing because they own it. Therefore, which is what I love about the gay community. You guys have been through so much hell. You guys taught me how to have a thick skin at an early age. Like, let it roll off, bitch. It's just words, because, bitch, you know who the fuck you are, girl.
Right.
Keep going, girl. Work, bitch. And you know when something's really detrimental that you should be upset about, whether something's just some bullshit ass shit talking.
Yeah.
And it's a thick skin, and these kids haven't acquired or not acquired, but haven't embraced their thick skin and let shit roll off. Be who you are. That's why I say it on my album, be who you are. Don't worry about words. Words aren't going to save you. Your amazingness and your power is going to save you, because when you walk the walk and you're in your skin and you know who the fuck you are, ain't nobody going to question it, because you know who the fuck you are. And no one's going to even rock the boat, because you're so in your skin. You're so confident. You're so fucking firmly standing on that ground, and you are fucking, I am this bitch. What you gonna do? Nothing, because I'm living my life, and you have no effect on my life. Because what I always say, if it ain't paying my rent, ain't putting clothes on my back or food on my table or eating my pussy, it ain't got no power on this bitch. That's my life rules. So when you like
should
that,
make a really good shirt.
But it's true. I feel like Norma Ray right now screaming union, but it's true. But it's true though. Own who you are. When you show that weakness, that's when the bad people, not the comics, the bad people come in.
I agree with you. I think that, like, in, with all the acronyms and the letters and all that stuff, and I won't tell a joke, but it's very frustrating. So one of my jokes is, like when I came out, I want to say 10 years ago, because I'm still only like 28, but it was like 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to come out.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
Really hard. Like, well, a lot of my family didn't talk to me because of it.
Sure.
And now 20 years later, because of the dialogue that we've had, people are like, "Yay, you're gay! This is amazing! Oh my god!" They're cool with gay people, but because of all of this extra stuff, like, I don't even know how many
the laws.
How many,
the Supreme Court.
LGBTQ plus IA.
Then pi semicolon. Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much, and I think what it's doing is, like, we were accepted. Gay marriage was here.
Yep.
And now it's take away women's rights.
Yep. Take
away this right. Take away, like, I see gay marriage rights being taken away at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Depending on the 2024 elections, right?
100%.
So, and I think that in part all of the keyboard warriors, not that they're wrong, but I think in some ways, if you're pushing so hard to get your point across, you kind of pushing people back. Like, I'm tired. I'm gay and I'm tired. I want to go back in the fucking closet.
Yeah. I tell people, the more inclusive shit gets, like, I see it here in the clubs. The more inclusive the shows are, the more they exclude everybody. It's like, why are you trying so hard to check boxes? Why are you trying so hard to do this when you should just be funny? Just be who you are. And everybody's so worried about appearances. And the more powerful, also too, before we wrap, but the more powerful a marginalized community gets, the more scared that fucking conservative right wing gets, because they know they're losing footing. So guess what? Abortion rights gone. Fuck you, bitches. It's like, it's like, yeah, see what we did? Fuck you. Well, guess what?
I have a whole philosophy on that. So there was an article, I wish I could quote the article exactly, but I saw it like maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay.
Where they were talking about low birth rates in America.
Yep, 100%.
Right? And the highest birth rates being in India and Africa, which are people of color. Yeah. And the people who are writing these laws are pretty much white supremacists to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, but it's 100%. Yeah.
Let's make people dumber, because when people are dumb, they fuck each other and they have babies, but let's make it so that they can't get rid of the baby. Right. Yep. And, because the studies show that the more educated you are,
the less likely you're going to have kids.
When you're supposed to, according to certain people.
I'm 53. I never wanted kids because I never wanted to bring an unwanted child into this world. Plus, I'm not
I would
married.
Adopt or foster at this point.
Yeah, a dog.
I have to. Yeah, but I mean, if I were in a situation where I could adopt
more
a
white
kid,
women.
I would.
Yeah, and more white women, as we've been growing old from Gen X on up, have been choosing careers Remember in the 80s, Working Girl. Remember that movie with Meg Ryan or whatever? Melanie Griffith.
No, that was Working Girl. You're right.
Melanie Griffith was Working
Harrison
Girl.
Ford,
and that was the woman with the power suit, and she was going to work. She was her own woman, women's lib. And that was the downfall of women's rights right there. Like that's when it started. When women start. Well, that era.
Who was that? Era? Melanie
Griffith. She married Don Johnson. Yeah.
Destroyed women's.
Yeah. How dare you be an independent, amazing woman, bitch? No, but I'm saying that whole mentality that women's lib and women in the workforce and equal this, and that's where we started losing footing. Even though we were gaining footing, we were losing footing to the straight white male supremacist mentality.
Yeah.
So
they don't. And on that to be equal.
No, they like Mooney used to say, "What does one white man love more than himself? Another white man." Yeah, and he's right. Yeah. Nailed it. But I love you. And on that note,
I love you.
I always love to wrap up the podcast with 2 questions. It's my thing. It's fun. No one asks these stupid questions because that's my job to be stupid, right? You're stupid. So, question number 1 for you, beauty. Is there a joke a comic has done that made you go, God damn, that's brilliant. I wish I had written that. And who was it?
So I'm going to go with most recent.
Okay, sure.
Which is Marsha Warfield.
The queen. The reason I do stand up.
I just worked with her. She's amazing. She's brilliant.
She's beyond brilliant.
Yeah, she's just. Oh, I wish I could think like her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Do you want the joke or do you want the premise? So the premise was, she was basically calling white people gangsters. Mm-hmm. Like y'all are gangsters. Like there's no other. I'm gonna totally.
It's fine. You could fuck it up. Don't worry. We're just paying homage.
The premise was basically, it's amazing how a group of white people can get an entire globe of people to believe that Jesus was a white guy with blue eyes and blonde hair from the Middle East. It was. I'm not doing it justice at all, but it's. She's funny. She's hysterical, and I think what I love about her is that she is funny, but she also makes you think. Yeah, and I love that in comedy.
Yeah, her delivery. Yeah, it maybe sounds silly, but it makes you think.
Yeah, and it's not too highbrow for people to understand.
Yeah, and I'm a lowbrow comic, but there's messages behind my lowbrow. Yeah, but there's messages behind my lowbrowness, and people pick it up, and that's all I care about. Now, question number 2, which is always fun. Like comics will sit around a green room and tell street jokes. Paul Mooney used to close his show every night with street jokes, but he would Mooney-ize them. He'd add a little Mooney twist to them. Yeah. So, from one comic to another, what is your go-to street joke?
I don't have one, but
I
don't have one. I'm terrible at this. The best street joke I ever heard, which was from my dad, back in the 80s. He got this book of jokes, dad jokes or something.
Perfect.
And I've told this so many times, and it gets a different response depending on the group I'm saying it to. So back in the 80s, it was, 2 people who are about ready to get married need a marriage license, right? Yup. Mm-hmm. Yep. What do 2 lesbians need?
I don't know.
A liquor license.
Good night. Oh, fuck you. I love you, bitch.
So, I've told that to other lesbians and it's not gone well.
Oh, God, they gotta lighten up.
Most of us laugh. I mean, you gotta laugh at this shit, right?
You have to. That's what life is so fucking short. If you don't laugh, you're gonna die horrible. Yeah, I laugh at everything makes me laugh because that's my coping mechanism.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how I get through the bad shit is laugh my ass off. Yeah. I yell at people. I make fun of people. I just roast. Well, woman, Jess Miller, again, tell everybody where the next show is and where they can find you.
They can find me at jessmillercomedy.com. Next show is in Westfield, Massachusetts for the Cancer House of Hope and Lorraine's Soup Kitchen, sponsored by Mom Prom.
What's the date?
Western Mass Mom Prom.
Okay. And the date of that show?
Would be January 19th.
Okay. So next
8 p.m. Shaker Farms Road.
Yep.
Shaker
So
Farms
Friday
Country
night,
Club.
the 19th. If you're in that area, go. Follow her at Jess Comedy on Instagram. You can follow me at Christy Miller Comedy on Instagram as well, or follow the show, Old Skool New Skool Comedy, spelled with a K. So, give us a like, follow us around, and don't forget to share the show. We love you. Good night.